Alright, what's up everybody? Zach Rice back with more of Avadon the Black Fortress. So let's go ahead and continue here. We're going to be going on a new adventure. This time we are in Dhorl Stead. And as you can tell, I have Janelle this time with me as one of my two companions. I like keeping Nathalie around for a mage, but I do want to spice it up a little bit and have Janelle too, just to show you all what it's like to have a shaman. You emerge from the pylon, stumbling and gagging. The journey is getting no less wrenching as time passes. When your vision returns, you see that the pylon is in the middle of a clearing in a forest. A cool wind blows through the trees, a nice change from the burning waste of the cava. However, this pylon is very different. It is neglected. Leaves are strewn throughout the clearing, and the rival platform is covered with moss. Also, some derogatory and obscene messages have been crudely painted on the pylon. It provides a helpful reminder you are in Camarilla of the Farlands, not only enemy lands, but prowled by some sort of vicious monster. Care will be required. You emerge from the pathway and surprise two young Camarians, tribesmen practicing with wooden spears. When you emerge, they stop fighting and their jaws drop. It has been years since anyone new walked down this pathway. You watch each other awkwardly for several long seconds. Then they finally remember what they should do. They run toward their village, shouting, "Avadon! Avadon!" Janelle smiles viciously. That's right. Run, my young enemies. Judgment is upon you. You enter the village of Dhorl Stead. It is a series of wooden domes, each occupied by one of the families that make up the tribe. A traditional settlement of the sort that exists in multitudes all over Camarilla and the Wild Realm. Your welcome is not warm. The people here reacted quickly to news of your arrival. Some hid in their homes. You see them peeking nervously out through the doors. Others are in the streets, carrying out their business. They pretend to be unconcerned but cast nervous glances at you whenever they think themselves unobserved. One group, however, is taking great pains to not appear scared of you. There is a group of warriors sitting around a fire in the center of town. They have chainmail coats and vicious halberds, and they have been drinking. The people in the village seem just as scared of them as of you. Oh yeah, they are definitely still scared out of their minds. You hear someone talking in the center of town. The people grow very nervous. You notice that Janelle is walking with unusual purpose in her steps. Her weapon is constantly in her hand, as if she expects rampaging barbarians to rush out of the bushes at any moment. She notices you looking at her. Must be alert. You should be too. I am from the Wild Realm, and Camarians are our blood foes. They might seem pleasant on the surface. Don't let them fool you. I will remember your warning. Let's move on. She nods, unconvinced. I hope you heed my warning. Many have died underestimating the savages of Camarilla. Oh, we're talking about these guys? There is a group of vicious Camarian warriors patrolling Dhorl Stead. They watch for intruders and invaders, and they consider you to be both. When you get close, they boldly stare at you, almost daring you to start something. Their leader shakes his head and says to you, "If you want to talk, talk to me." Hey, get back here! What the heck? Why was he moving? You meet a Camarian warrior. He is in his 20s, but he bears a cruel demeanor and web of scars of a grizzled veteran far older. His armor bears the trophies of many fallen foes, a number of them human. He steps past the warriors who escort him, stands up straight, and looks you in the eye. "I am Hunter Salome," he says, "watcher of Dhorl Stead and favored hunter of Lord Karstal Arl, and thus head hunter of all Dhorl Stead. What do you want here, servant of the Pact? What is your purpose here?" "I aid mighty Lord Karstal Arl in keeping Dhorl Stead safe. He seeks out and destroys our foes outside our borders. We watch and listen for treachery within." Hunter Salome Salome looks toward the village to the southwest. Who knows what treachery is taking place there while I am away? What sort of treachery do you search for? Wars or deeds that would weaken the rule of mighty Lord Carstal Arl. The Lord brings safety to the people here. All he expects in return is loyalty. You hunt your own village? It is not a mere village, it is the Stead. We only do what the warriors of Avadon do. Watch for threats, maintain peace, eliminate the disloyal. And what do you do when you find someone who is disloyal? Salome's warriors grin viciously. We inform Lord Carstal Arl. Sometimes he acts. Sometimes he has me act in his place. We then make sure that, in the end, calm is returned. I've been sent from Avadon. Hunter Salome clearly wishes to ask you some questions. However, he has his orders. I have been told that, now that I have found you, I am to send you to Ogrim Tor. He points to the northeast. Lord Carstal Arl, or his servants will tell you all you need to know. What is your purpose here? Okay. I was like, fool, why are you taking off? I did want to talk to you for a minute. Okay, we can still explore the village in the meantime, though. This hall is full of the members of one of the clans of Dhorl Stead. They are all fierce Cimmerian warriors. They don't like having you in their home, and they have no interest in talking to you. Not one word. Eventually, you have to give up and leave. Avadon or not, there is no help to be had here. There are several merchants in Dhorl Stead. Some are Farlanders and some are from the Pact. They are negotiating the sale of wagons full of goods. When you listen, you note that the Farlanders tend to give Pact merchants very good terms on everything. If they don't, punishment awaits. Very lucky, except maybe for the horse. Yeah, that's pretty cool that Jeff has that dialogue for some of these other minor items that are useless. There is an old wooden clan hall that has been converted into a trading post. Merchants from all over Cimmeria and beyond pass through Dhorl Stead. The power of the local lords has attracted trade. A woman is inspecting a newly arrived shipment of bolts of cloth. When she sees you, she walks quickly over to you. This Cimmerian is not happy to see warriors of the Pact in her post. I am Edeline, she says, and this is my shop. My shop. What do you need? I need to speak with you. She shakes her head. The word came from the fortress. Hunter Salome has said that we are not to speak with you. She points to the northeast. Go to Ogrim Tor. They will give you all you need. Before you can respond, she turns on her heel. Wait. She ignores you. Soon she's on the other side of the hall. Okay, so we're not going to get anything here, it looks like. I just have to find Ogrim Tor. The building at the east end of the village is made of stone. If anything separates the wild realm from Cimmeria, it is this land's love of buildings made of rock. This is the workshop of the village's stonecrafter. Wagons bring huge lumps of raw stone, which are then chipped down into bricks and sent to make forts and fortifications. This is Dhorl Stead's bastion of modernity. To the northeast, you can see the difference between Camarilla and the Wild Realm. There is a stone fortress here, several circular walls built from large crude stones and connected by pathways. A wide, shallow moat surrounds the whole building. The people of the Wild Realm are more nomadic. They don't build fortresses. The Camarians have been much more eager to copy the ways of the other lands of Linnaeus, both cultural and military. And alas, the changes also left them more violent and greedy for territory. Janelle, unsurprisingly, looks at the fort with disgust. See that pile of rocks? They rely on walls and steel. We rely on our cunning and the power of our shamans, and we have defeated them at every turn. You stand at the gates of Ogrim Tor, the fortress from which Dhorl, Stead, and the surrounding lands are ruled. The gates are, you can't help but notice, closed. An elderly man stands in front of the gates, waiting for you. It is common practice all over Linnaeus for mages to wear robes to mark their profession. This man has taken an extra stamp. His robes are covered with flamboyant designs, and the shoulders are heavily padded. He nods to you and intones solemnly. I am Moritz Cry, Wizard of Ogrim Tor, honored advisor to Lord Karsta Arl. And I know you, Xander. I have emerged to greet you and learn your business here. I want to enter this fort. The wizard adopts an air of surprise and sadness. Then I must disappoint you. Alas, Lord Karsta Arl has ordered the gate sealed. There is a sickness, and this keep is quarantined. We would never put the warriors of Avadon at risk. Thus, I regret to say that the gates will remain closed. Tell me more about this disease. It is mysterious, but nothing that is beyond my powers, given time. But until it is cured, nobody from outside will enter the keep. Orders of Karsta Arl. You will let me in. I insist, Barlander. The wizard seems calm, but the warriors in the guardhouses are very tense. Moritz Cry smiles. Then you must report our crime to Avadon and let Redbeard decide how to respond. Until then, the gates remain closed. But I assure you that any aid you could receive inside, you will get from me now. Avadon has sent me here. Of course, you have some mission of great importance, and we wish to help you all we can so that your gaze can turn away from us. So, why are you here? He tries to act casual, but he is clearly desperate to know your purpose. Nathalie subtly taps you on the shoulder. When you turn to look at her, she gives her head a slight shake. I am from Avadon, and my purpose is private. The wizard nods, but you can see how displeased he is at this answer. We can offer much aid, but only if we know what you seek. When you see that it is wise to trust us, I will be here. You are a mage. Moritz Cry stands up straight and suddenly shakes his upper torso, showing off his shoulder pads. Not any mere sorcerer. My line has served the lords of Ogrim Tor since its construction began. My line has its own tower, to the north, but I spend most of my time at this keep, ever at my master's call. You are aware that Avadon restricts the activities of Farlander wizards? He gives you a subservient smile. I am. We have never hidden anything from Avadon. If you can ever enter this keep, you will see that I have made sure to never exceed the powers of mages of the Pact. I am humble. Where did you learn magic? From my father, and from certain scrolls and tomes. All Avadon approved, I assure you. I want to know something else. He nods. Yes? I will go now. Yes. Wise Lord Karsta Arl has instructed me to remain out here when you are in the area. If you need more aid, I will provide it if I can. Oh. Moritz Cry stands solemnly and watches you. You have time to admire his outlandish robe. All mages are proud, but few of them let it go to their head to this extent. Morris Cry says in a deep and theatrical voice, "Is there anything else you need before you depart?" Okay, so it looks like we ain't getting in here for now. You know, we could have followed that group of soldiers up here and then talked to them, but whatever. There is a stone circle here. Such circles are the centers of worship for the shamans of Chimeria and the Wild Realm. However, the circle is neglected. The leaves here have not been swept away. Remains of the last offerings have not yet been cleared. You expect Janelle to be furious. She only seems sad. She makes a desultory attempt to clean away a little of the mess. Then she gives up. It will only return after she leaves. The Chimerians have adopted new ways and are forgetting the old. The Wild Realm has stuck to its traditions. Now they hate each other. Nobody knows who will prevail in the end. Okay, so I guess we're clearly stuck. I mean, we could be interesting and tell, but I don't know. I'm gonna say true and not reveal anything, because they don't need to know. We could go ahead and do some exploring in the meantime. I wonder if people will be more willing to talk knowing that I got denied. Adeline watches you grimly as you wander through her trading post. You do your best to ignore her obvious loathing. I need to speak with you. Her dislike suddenly switches to fear. Her eyes flick toward the window. This is not a good time to talk to an outsider. I am very busy. Excuse me. Before you can respond, she turns on her heel and walks away. Oh, snap. Is it because those guys returned? Okay, now we can probably talk to her. So that is interesting, Jeff threw that in. You have to wait for certain instances like this where you can actually talk to people. So that is very interesting. She shakes her head. The word came from the fortress. Hunter Salome has said that we are not to speak with you. She points to the northeast. Go to... the fortress has turned me away. Now you will talk to me. Emmeline's face grows flushed. She is trapped. She looks you in the eye. I will not anger Avadon. You go where you will. Do what you will. Ask what you want and leave me alone. Tell me about this post. She shrugs. Merchant caravans pass through here, from the rest of Linnaeus to Chimeria, and then back. I trade with them. I supply them. I hope you were not here to threaten me. I've done all I need to comply with all the Pact's laws, no matter how unjust. Chimeria has a lot of trade. More and more every year. As we leave behind the old ways, our wealth grows. We aren't a bunch of isolated tribes, crude and dirty. We have cities and craftsmen now. We are proud. How's the Pact unjust? You have merchants. So do the Farlands. But your laws make sure that your traders always have an advantage. Farlanders are not allowed to compete, and we have to pay extra taxes and tariffs to you. And you think I am here to harm you? That is the only reason Avadon ever comes. But I follow all your laws, pay all your duties. So what do you want from me? I've come here looking for something. She frowns. I will help you if I can, and if it gets you to move on. What do you want? That is the secret. Then I can't help you. What else do you need? I want to trade with you. She frowns and shakes her hand. I follow your laws. I am forced to bow to the Pact, but I will not deal with you. Who can? I don't know. What else do you need? Okay, what happens if we do? I am hunting a beast made of shadows. Ah, I have heard of it. It has even attacked one of the caravans coming here. 2 guards were killed and eaten, but I am no hunter. I don't go into the wilds. I can't help you. Okay, so it might be fine to just ask people about it, but nobody else really. An aging warrior of Chimeria sits on the seat of honor, watching you approach. His face is starting to wrinkle, but he still spends many a day out in the wild. In both Chimeria and the wild realm, hunting is still an important source of food and honor. He does not like having a hand of Avadon in his hall, but he knows that it would be unwise to keep you out. He nods to you. I welcome you, warrior of Avadon. You are no friend to our people, but as long as you are peaceful, you are safe under my roof. I am Runner Kellen. I don't know why you have come to us, but I don't think we will be able to help you. What is this hall? This is the home of my clan, largest of the 4 in Dhorl Stead. Each clan has a meeting hall here. So all members of your clan are here? No, this is where we come to meet. Most of us are out in the wilds in our own homesteads, or hunting, of course. We would be a pitiful group indeed if we could all live here. You are the leader of the clan? Leader? We are a family. There is no single man or woman who rules over us. Not as long as Karsta Arl holds us in his iron grip. But I have earned a level of respect. I am asked for advice. I settle disputes. Tell me about the other clans. Some are closer to us, some less. I would not draw the eye of Avadon to them by describing them. All I will say is that they will likely be less friendly to you than we are. Why is that? Some of us want to conquer the wild realm. Others wish to reunite with our estranged brothers there. I will leave it at that. Janelle whispers to you. Some of my tribe would like to rejoin with Chimeria too. Of course, if they stop trying to kill us, that would be a good start toward peace. Runner Kellen sits in his chair. He seems very calm, but the other warriors aren't. They watch you from the shadows, and they keep their weapons nearby. Anything else to say before you depart? I would like some information. Runner Kellen adopts a very neutral expression. Knowledge is valuable, and Lord Karsta Arl has told us that it is not to be shared freely. Whatever you wish to learn, I'm sure he would love to tell you. His keep, Ogrim Tor, is to the northeast. You should see him there. I have been there. Lord Karsta Arl would not let me enter. There is a long moment of silence. Runner Kellen ponders this. The more he thinks, the angrier he gets. Our Lord turns you away? He taunts Avadon? Brings your anger to us? This. He waves a hand. His warriors suddenly find their own business to attend to, pointedly not listening to your conversation. Perhaps there are a few things I can tell you. If it satisfies you and leads to your departure. I would like to know more about the woods. The woods of Chimeria are deep and dark. They are full of the finest game in Linnaeus, as well as dangerous prey. Huge spiders, drakes, things that bring much honor from the hunting. And yet the woods are not like what they were when I was young. They are far more dangerous now. There is prey now that we dare not hunt. And you have been out there many times, I suppose. Since I received my first proper bow at the age of 10, it has been impossible to keep me out of the woods, even now when they seem to get darker with every passing day. Why are the woods more dangerous? His face darkens. I don't know. I know that Lord Karsta Arl should be helping to remove the worst of the pests, the ones too strong for a single clan to bring down, and he does not. As for his wizard, well, there are things that is dangerous to say. What can't you hunt? I am ashamed to admit it, but there is some prey in the woods that I will not call a hunt for, because the loss of some of my clan would be guaranteed, and there are some deadly foes that are even beyond the strength of the clans together to destroy. It was not always us, but in these last few years the shadows have grown. Can't the clans work together? It is not our way. Hunting is a competition for us. For food, for honor. Perhaps there is something I can hunt. Runner Kellen suddenly seems very interested. Perhaps thinking of traps for the hands of Avadon. There is a creature that has been hunting us, not far to the north. It has slain one of our clan. It is a huge arachnid, called the Widow of Bones. Were you to destroy it, we would be in your debt. Why haven't you killed it? We could, but the battle would be likely to kill at least one of my clan warriors. In these dark times, I'm willing to shed a little honor to maintain our strength. Why is it called the Widow of Bones? It is a huge arachnid, cunning for its kind. It decorates the paths around its lair with piles of bones, the remains of its prey. The remains of several Dhorl Stead warriors are there. Each of our clans has lost a young runner in the quest to bring the creature down. Where can I find it? In the Dhorl woods. If you are ever near the tower of Morit's Cry, look in the woods to the south. I've come to Kamari to hunt a certain beast. Runner Kellen looks to one of his warriors. The hunter goes to the south window and looks out of it, taking care to appear nonchalant. Then he turns from the window and nods. Kellen turns to you. We can speak of it. Briefly, before Salam and his thugs return to our village. The beast. Yes, the shadow beast, we call it. Not a creative name, but very true. And very real and very dangerous. You have seen it. I have. It is in the shape of a wolf, tall as a man's shoulder, wreathed in shadow. It does not always strike. Sometimes it only watches us. It makes strange noises, then flees. But then, at times, it does attack. It is swifter than sight, and its teeth are like razors. Has it killed many of the people here? So far, a dozen. A grim tally. All of the clans have been hurt. It seems to be growing bolder. We see it more often, closer and closer to Dhorl Stead. Where did it come from? We do not know. It appeared almost a year ago, and it is unlike anything in our memories or tales. How can I find it? Runner Kellen retrieves a map from his quarters and shows it to you. I don't know where its lair is, but I do know where it has been seen the most. It seems the best place to start the hunt. You must go north to the Dhorl woods. Find the forest around the Tower of the Wizard, Morit's Cry. Then find the northwest road. Follow it, and the forest will become grim and dark indeed. The Dhorl woods are now on your world map. Has Lord Karsta sent warriors there? Our lord does nothing to hunt the creature. That is the only reason that I will aid you. And when I am there, how will I hunt it? It will not be difficult. In those woods, the creature will soon hunt you. I want to know more about Lord Karsta. He is ruler of Dhorl Stead and the lands beyond. His family has conquered and controlled for 4 generations. He enforces all the new ways. I will say no more than that. It is not safe to discuss him with you, even to say kind things. Can you tell me more about Morit's Cry? He is Lord Karsta wizard. His skill has helped Dhorl Stead to become a true power in Kamaria, and I will say no more. Little is said that he does not hear. I will be going. Hunter Kellen seems relieved. Alright, safe travels to you. Runner Kellen is a hunter in the village of Dhorl Stead. He offered a bounty if you could find and slay a huge, twisted arachnid creature. He called it the Widow of Bones and told you that it could be found in the Dhorl woods near Morit's Cry's tower. This book is about Kamaria, okay. Kamaria is one of the far lands, occupying much of the northwest corner of Linnaeus. A land of fierce barbarian tribes, an outsider might at first consider it identical to the Wild Realm, to the south. This would be a mistake. Once centuries past, Kamaria was the northern expanse of the Wild Realm, to the extent that this huge swath of fiercely independent people could be considered one entity. Then the northern tribes looked east, saw the huge stone cities, and became envious. The southern tribes stuck to the old ways, and the northern tribes began to build stone towers and halls. These tribes began to unite into larger alliances called Steads, each with the city at its corner. By the standards of, say, Calendario, these settlements are miserably provincial and humble. And if you spent a few years searching, you might find someone who in Cameria who cares what Calendario thinks. Then Cameria learned other tricks from the east, like the building of empires, the ways of constant war, the occasional utility of the massacre. The tribes of the west always had their skirmishes, but then the Steads of Cameria banded together and brought a new way of war to the tribal lands, one that caused great suffering and loss in the Wild Realm. But now the Wild Realm is part of the Pact. Cameria pays yearly tribute to them. The traders of the Pact roam Cameria freely, untroubled by tolls or bandits, and the Steads of Cameria count up the insults and dream of a gruesome vengeance. Oh, we can also do this if to see people we can talk to. Okay, he has a name, but it's a regular NPC, so I'm surprised by that, actually. The stone was full of cooking fires and low clay ovens. It is where the clan members in Dhorl Stead come to bake their bread and socialize. The aromas of smoke and dough are heavy in the air. It is a cheery place, or at least it was until you arrived. Well, yeah. The ovens are tended to by one old woman. She approaches you with the cheery air you have come to recognize. The attitude of one who fears Avadon but is determined to be as friendly and helpful as possible until you go away. She says, "Welcome, visitors. Have a seat. Have a fresh-baked roll. Everyone knows Dhorl Stead is a friendly place. I am Nixie, and I tend to the ovens. Can I help you?" Tell me about this hall. This is the baking hall, the center of every stead in Cameria. People come here to cook, to talk. It is a warm place, and it is my purpose to look after it. It is a common practice? Yes, all over Cameria and the Wild Realm too. Many of our practices and theirs remain the same, though a border divides us now. Janelle says, "That is right. Cameria keeps all of the old ways, except the ones that matter." Nixie wisely ignores her. Do people eat here? No, most of the villagers cook their bread and stews and then return them to their homes. Why? It cuts down on the number of fires we need to tend to. During the warm days of summer, the clans can let the fires in their halls dim, knowing that they can cook here. Nixie stands near you as you explore the small hall. She occasionally proffers to you a slice of bread with honey or a little bit of corn cake. It's like having a loving grandmother nearby, if that grandmother were constantly afraid that you were going to destroy her entire village. What do you do here? I tend to the fires, I keep the ovens and fire pits in good repair, and I talk to people and help to pass on the gossip. She smiles. Gossip is not an honorable pastime, but I can't resist it. How did you get this position? Like many callings, it is passed from father to daughter and mother to son. I spent my childhood cleaning the ashes out of these ovens. But I am aging, and soon I will pass the task on. Any gossip for me? She looks around nervously, then she leans close and begins to whisper. Some think that there is a beast in the woods. Lord Karsta Arl and his men claim that this is just a rumor. Those who wander the deep woods know better. I'm on a mission here. Nixie looks worried. She shakes her head. I am a simple woman. I tend to fires. I tell tales. I don't get involved in the workings of power. Please don't say anything to me about it. I'm not the one who learns of such things. You seem to know a lot about village gossip, not about the wilds. Who does know? Lord Karsta Arl and his servants, like Hunter Salome, know much, but they are, I shouldn't say, well, who can help me? She sighs, her smile fades. She realizes that it is a risk to tell you, but it is also the best way to be rid of you. The runners, the hunters of the tribes, they go into the deep woods. They bear knowledge, and they bear it with honor. Okay, let me do some more exploring here. Okay, there's a dungeon right there. Alright, let's make sure they actually go and lay before I Okay, they aren't here yet. Okay, that's just where Nixie is. Okay, that's where I just was. Almond Tress. Oh, she also has a name, but cannot talk to us. Oh, interesting. Okay, this is one egg that we can get out of. Roth, Stonemaster of the Dhorl. The master stoneworker of Dhorl Stead is sitting at his table, eating a bowl of stew. His hair is thinning and gray, and his body bears all the marks of a long life breaking apart and shaping rock. Stone dust covers the backs of his hands. When he looks up at you, you can see the misery and conflict in his eyes. He wants to turn you out, but he can't. He stares at you for a long moment, trying to decide what to do. Finally, he sets his spoon down. I am Stonemaster Roth, he says in a weary voice. I never knew whether you might come. You have, and I find that my hopes and fears have both come true. But there is something I need to ask you. I am the one who asks questions. He looks up at you. You will force nothing from me, Hand. I promise you that. But if you tell me what I want, I might aid you. What do you want to know? I have lost 2 children. One, Aslak, who was taken by a beast who roams the woods around our village. Another, Lorella, left me to go to Avadon. She sought vengeance our leaders would not give us. For a moment, he allows himself to be hopeful. Have you seen Lorella? Have you seen my daughter? Lorella came to Avadon. It is because of her that I am here. Roth nods. His joy at the news is not unmixed. And it is true. Lorella brought the gates of Avadon here, and all know it. It will be difficult for us. But I thank you for telling me that my beloved daughter lives. In return, I will give you what little information I can. You are a stoneworker? He nods. 30 long years, hammering at rock and shaping it. We come late to the craft. My work is among the best in our land, but nothing compared to that in the Tawan Empire. Why does Chimeria make stone buildings now? Because as long as we live in huts and live like nomads, we are at the mercy of the Eastern powers. The Tawan Empire, Hoklanda, they can crush us with stone and steel. Janelle snores. A little safety is not worth sacrificing all the old ways. The wild realm is safe within the pact. Ross smiles and takes a sip of wine. Child, even many of us feel as you do. But one day you will learn, you are never, ever safe. What? You make the stone for all the buildings here? He smiles. Oh no, my workshop only makes the pieces of quality. Trim, finishing pieces. Many others work the sort of crude blocks that form the walls of Agrem Tor. Though many of those workers were trained by me. Stonemaster Roth sits and stares morosely at his table. I don't know what else to say to you. What's done is done. It's best if you leave me. Tell me about Dhorl Stead. I will say a little, and no, I take a great risk even saying even that. We are an old village composed of 4 allied clans. Once we had a chief, shamans, so on. But then Lord Karsta Arl arose, gained power, an army, had his fortress built, and now he commands these parts. Why can't you speak with me? In our little village, Hunter Salom is the arm of Lord Karsta Arl. He enforces the law, and he loves to do it. Karsta Arl sent word that none should help any outsiders that arrive. As long as Salom is near, the villagers will never help you. How did Lord Karsta Arl gain power? His great-grandfather was once merely the chief of Dhorl Stead. That elder saw that other fortress were being built in Chimeria, closer and closer to us. He saw that if we did not match our rivals, we would suffer bloody conquest. The elder began the construction of Agrem Tor and launched bloody conquest of his own. And the gruesome business passed to his son, and to his son, and then to Karsta Arl. We were not consulted. Tell me about the fortress. Agrem Tor, it is finally complete, after 8 years of constant work, and much suffering among our people, but now it terrifies our enemies, and us as well. While Lord Karsta Arl rules there, with Moritz cry lending him power, all Chimerians near us will tremble with terror. I want to know more about Moritz cry. He is Lord Karsta Arl's wizard. He has a tower to the north. His powers are... I do not know the limits to them, but I know that little was said that he does not hear, so I will say no more. I am hunting the shadowy creature that killed your son. Roth involuntarily looks toward the window. Hunter Salom and his enforcers don't know of this? I could get in great trouble for helping you, but there is little to say. The beast lurks outside town from time to time. Aslak, my son, had the poor fortune to encounter it late one evening. We found the body the next morning. I saw him. He chokes up. Can you describe the beast? I have never seen it. I know only what I have heard. The beast is huge and cunning. It seems to be surrounded by shadows that cover and conceal it. It has, but I do not want to simply repeat rumors. And are you sure that it was a beast? And not trickery? This was considered. It has been seen. It has been tracked. It is large, deadly, and very real. How has Lord Karsta Arl reacted? For a moment, Roth's anger is directed somewhere other than Avadon. At something killing us? Mere villagers? People unimportant to his fortress? His dreams of conquest? The only thing that has been done is for him to send Salom to tell us to be quiet, to restrain our suffering meekly. I had to swallow my rage and accept it. Lorella could not, so she went to you. How might I find it? I can't tell you where to hunt the beast. I am no hunter. But Dhorl Stead has warriors who roam deep into the woods. They have little love for Hunter Salom. One of them might have seen something in his or her travels. Who do you think I should talk to? Lord Karsta Arl and his wizard hear everything said in Dhorl Stead eventually. My family has suffered enough. If you don't want to hurt us, you will leave now. Several young apprentices are hauling and shaping large blocks of stone. They do their best to pretend that you aren't there. When you finally force one to talk to you, you learn that you should speak with Roth. He is in the hall to the south. Okay, so far we haven't really gotten any. Although Chimera and the Wild Realm value hunting greatly, raising crops is still very important. The fields here are worked by several farmers. One of them, older and more scarred than the rest, is tying a blade to his belt. He looks at you defiantly. You are treading on my fields, Avadon. I am Han, and I am watching you. You are a farmer? I am. But before that, I was a hunter. And I won 3 trophies of honor. And if I need to, I will fight. Both you and those who brought you here. Trophies of honor? Our best trophies, arms and armor, are passed down from warrior to warrior. I won my sword for slaying the mungrats of the swampy reaches. I will use it to defend Dhorl Stead. Why did you quit hunting? Age. Wanting to leave prey to the... Wait, I will tell you nothing about anything. You will fight those who brought me here? Someone told you to come here. When we find out who drew the gates of Avadon to us, we will be sure to make them pay. The farmer Han watches you closely. His sword is old, but it is dangerous enough in a skilled hand. One thing you learned in your training, everyone is dangerous. I've been sent here by Avadon. I can't do anything about that, and I won't help you, no matter what. Not even to find the shadowy beast that stalks you? That stops him for a moment, but then he says, not even then, Pact Warrior. Your coming here can bring no good. None. Why are you so hostile? You ass out of a Farlander, you rule us, you crush us. When we succeed at trade, your thieves come in to take our wealth, and now you come to our town, armed and ready to kill. He passes his blade. This is a trophy of honor. If I have to, I will use it to defend our town. Watch your tongue, old man. I am from Avadon. He nods. I understand. I will not oppose you, not until you come back to destroy our home. He turns and walks away across this field. Okay, so I'm curious to go what's in that trapdoor, but let's still go ahead and explore. That might actually come into play with the quest later. Okay, that's about Chimera. We don't have to read that again. There is a familiar sight in villages all across Chimera and the Wild Realm. An old shaman sitting behind a fire, incense heavy in the air, waiting to give advice or judgment. But this hall has been neglected. The trophies are old and dusty. The floor is dirty. Few come here. The old woman behind the fire was asleep when you entered. Then her eyes open. She sees you. Then she begins to croak. Ah, Xander, envoy of our enemy. You have arrived. Come, step forward. Old Uni will see you now. You step forward. I wish to speak with you. And I am not supposed to talk to you. The word already comes from Ogrim Tor. But I am a shaman, not bound by their words. I will talk to you, because it is the only way to protect our village. I only came to hunt something. And I might help you. Be careful who you tell of that, though. Those who rule us can use that knowledge to do harm. So you are a shaman. I am a lonely post in this new age. I could be very useful, giving wisdom, making potions, training my successor, tending to the sacred circles. But there is no place for me here now. Janelle looks sad. I did not expect to find any followers of the old ways in Chimera. Uni responds, "Child, not all of us wish to be apart from the wild realm, but it is not my decision. It is not the task of a shaman to rule the land, but to serve it. What wisdom do you have?" "I have no wisdom for Avadon. It is a strange thing to me. Far from this place, far from what I know. Can I buy a potion from you?" Uni sells potions to all travelers, even those from Avadon. "Do you have a successor?" "No, none. All who might have stayed have gone off to the fortresses, using their skills for war or for trade. One day, a young traveling shaman will come here to serve, but he or she will not be of this place. It makes me sad. Tell me about the sacred circles." "There is little to tell. The stones are where we meet with nature, expose ourselves to it. Magic places, but places that can draw dark forces. I am old and weak, and Lord Karsta Arl does not care about the circles. I cannot tend to them all myself, even when they fall into darkness." "There is a corrupted circle? Where?" "I have done what I can, so only one of our circles has fallen into darkness. I would like to restore it, but I lack the strength. It is in Dhorl Woods. To purify it, first, the dark spirits would have to be challenged, then driven out." "Challenge? How?" "The presence of the living is enough to challenge them. Stand in a circle long enough and the creatures will be drawn. But none want to expose themselves to such peril, so the circle will stay lost." "Can you tell me about your leaders?" Uni sits behind the fire cross-legged. Sometimes she lights incense or sings an old chant. Much of the time she sleeps, alone. When you are here, she watches you calmly, hoping to do what she can for her village. "Can you tell me about your leaders?" "Yes, leaders. That is what we have, not chieftains. I am free to speak of it. Being a shaman gives me some privileges. We have a lord, Lord Karsta Arl. He controls all the settlements for many miles. He inherited his little empire from his family, and he controls it with the fist of steel and the power of his wizard. And here in Dhorl Stead, the voice of our lord is Hunter Salom, and a harsh voice it is too. Tell me about Lord Karsta Arl." "He rules from Ogrim Tor, and he is skilled. A fierce warrior and hunter, and a cunning leader in war. He expects total loyalty for the people in his lands. To disobey is to be crushed in the modern Cimmerian fashion. Is he a wise leader?" "Wisdom does not matter here. He has, in his short life, added 2 steads to the land of the Dhorl, a mighty achievement. Much blood has flowed at his word, and yet he has drawn the gaze of Avadon. Perhaps he is not so cunning after all. Do the people ever wish to be rid of him?" "No, as much as he is hated, he has power. Power brings safety. Cimmeria is a cruel and violent place now, and only thick walls save us from being burned away by a rival Stead." "I want to know more about his wizard." "The wizard Moritz Cry has a personal dislike for me, and his power is great. He also seems to hear all that is said about him. I will not speak." "Hunter Salom speaks for Karsta Arl?" "He is, and his warriors watch the people of Dhorl Stead closely. None are free to speak when Salom is there. Salom gets all the honors that should go to the hunters. Karsta Arl, the people fear and respect. Hunter Salom is only hated." "I wish to discuss my purpose here." "I see. The Hall of Shaman is sacred. You may speak freely here." "I hunt a beast wrapped in shadow." "Ah, you have met Lorella. Her father, Roth, told me of his fear for her. I know of the beast. I can feel its darkness, how it warps the land around it. It should be hunted, but Lord Karsta Arl pretends that it does not exist. She thinks it should be hunted, and yet, perhaps, not slain. You think it should not be slain?" "I am uncertain. I can feel it. It is a warp thing, and yet I think it is not mindless. I'm not a soldier. I cannot doom a creature unless I feel I can understand it." "Where can I find it?" "I don't know. It roams deep in the woods, far from my sight. But the hunters, the explorers of the deep woods, they might be able to tell you more." "That is all I need. Then I bid you farewell. I must rest now." She lowers her chin to her chest and closes her eyes. Uni is an aging shaman in the village of Dhorl Stead. He wants to reclaim some of the old holy places that have been neglected in recent years. There is a stone circle in the Dhorl woods that has been infested by dark forces. Enter the circle and dare them to challenge you, then drive them out. Okay, sounds good. Alright, with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and call it for this part since we've gone on long enough. But I will see you all soon with the next part of Let's Play.